Because Rip wanted to make sure this place got off to a good start, Charlie Ferguson shows up at the ranch for the auction. He soon informs Lloyd that he wants him to remain. If there's anything to stay on for, Lloyd wants to know. When they rebuild it, that is. In response, Rip tells him, Lloyd has spent 43 years there. He calls it home. He was grateful to Rip for his loyalty and dreaded leaving it. Jamie returns to his reality and pleads with his ex-girlfriend Baby's mother for assistance. He boldly lies when he claims that he had nothing to do with his father's passing. She only consents to assist because he is her son's father and tells him to hold a news conference to fabricate any role in the affair. Christina Ott should be able to spot the flaws in his story. If he was not involved, why didn't he have Sarah arrested right away in his capacity as Attorney General? That ought to have been your warning sign. Good question, girl. Jamie is omitting the portion in which he instructed Atwood to proceed. Whether or not he believed the chat to be serious is irrelevant. She continues by asking him to make it clear that you simply collaborated closely with her in order to restore the development. Those who attempt to disparage his father and his love for Montana, and to imply an affair that occurred out of bias should be held accountable. To avoid appearing complicit, oppose it. Even so, he is. To inform the populace that their freedom was murdered and that he would exact revenge. That sounds like a pipe dream right now. After Travis charms, Beth comes back feeling sassy. How Rip can be friends with a man like that is beyond her comprehension. Rip continues by telling her about a fight he had with a woman in a club 20 years prior. A man made fun of the woman he was seeing. When the man refused to back down, Rip put his face on the ground. To put it briefly, Travis protected him and they were both ejected, but they have been friends ever since. It's the first time Monica and Beth feel like sisters. She queries Beth about their ability to earn enough money to pay taxes. She assures her that it won't even come close. However, it pays off the mortgage obligation, which will pay the taxes. However, it will expire. In order to pay off the debt, they will next need to begin selling off portions of the property. None of it has a true solution. All it is doing is buying time. Beth desires for the funeral to take place immediately following the auction, inviting only family members and close acquaintances. The funeral is only for him. The dispersal sale will soon start. The Cowboys discuss the outfits that are hiring hands as the Turnpike Troubadours begin to play. Jimmy claims the Sixes exclusively employ married men at the camps, despite Walker's desire to return to Texas. Thus, they avoid chasing after every vet tech. Walker and Lloyd are currently the only bunkhouse males who have a happy ending. To make the cocktails mild tonight and double them up for tomorrow, Beth instructs the bartender. They need to save some cash for the two-day auction. When Beth sees Linnell and extends an invitation to attend John's funeral, it's a huge turning point in her life. When they were teenagers, John and Linnell would ride around and do other things after that. An odd discussion regarding John's early sexual experiences takes place. Most people might find it strange to discuss your father's sexual history, but Beth would never do so. She then inquired as to Linnell's familiarity with her mother, and she performed admirably. I don't know if it was a reminder that John loved her mother alone, or where Beth was taking it. Monica and Case danced together in a charming way. Although he still keeps his enormous plans for Monica, he believes deep down that they are the correct thing to do and that they will succeed. For everyone, not just for them. He might just be the family's savior. Beth's heart grows increasingly softer as the program progresses. She is aware of Teeter's suffering and sees her in it. After that, she offers to take her to the Deerfield Club so they can blow some out-of-towners' balls. To lift her spirits, Beth displays her skills and Teeter does the same. Aaron is a lousy schmuck that Beth rids. Teeter is extremely amazed and even a bit scared. She referred to her as a witch because she was unaware that she was psychic. Teeter attempts it next, but fails miserably. She doesn't seem to really get the game. However, she appreciates Beth trying and taking her out. Heartache ties them together for life, and each of them has a hole in their heart. John and Colby are honored as the auction's second day gets underway. The audience and the characters both deserved it, and a heartfelt homage was given. As we pay tribute to a man who devoted his life to upholding our way of life, I ask that you all stand. In the same way that we respect a cowboy who sacrificed his life for the land and the animals that provide you with sustenance, we are aware that you have already gotten them both. My lord, they despise their friends and family and are aware of the peace and love we all desire. We are aware that we are all in pain when you gaze down. We are hurting because they are not in our life. If John Dutton were still with us today, his one wish would be that he gave you the will to keep going in a world that views you as the country's food providers, the farmer, the rancher, and the world as a barrier rather than the foundation for your survival. John Dutton's unwavering defense of your freedom and your purpose is an example that we should all take note of. And let's take a peek at Colby Mayfield's life as a cowboy. A hat for shade, a rope for his duties, a horse for his commute, and mountain valleys for his office. Freedom is that. John Dutton died defending that freedom, and Colby died using it. We bid you both farewell and express our gratitude. Carter and Beth had another wonderful moment together. Since there is no work, he is unsure of what to do. After giving him a cheek kiss, Beth advises him to sleep in. I believe that Rip and Beth will never again deny Carter the status of a son. The score this season should win accolades. The music is so well considered and carefully positioned for the appropriate times and places. It chills you and adds intensity to an already emotional moment. The ranch earned $30 million, which allowed them to extend their season longer in the event that rates decline. It's fantastic news, and Case is instructed by Beth to swear to him that he won't spend a single penny on whatever he has made from this property. To take note of John's blunders, since it isn't how a ranch may be saved. Case poses a business question to his sister as the show comes to a close. Would he be required to pay taxes on the amount he paid or the automobile's worth? If he paid $1 for her $300,000 car and registered it. Naturally, the only amount you pay is the retail price. This is where Casey's clever idea comes in. Beth rushes up to the car before ecstatic Case exits. She was shocked that she hadn't considered that. Give me a day, he says. In order to significantly reduce taxes, it is intended to be given away or given at a very low cost. Giving the Yellowstone away is the only way to save it. To whom, though? It's now becoming common knowledge in the media reports that Governor John Dutton was murdered over the cancellation of a multi-billion-dollar planned community financed by one of the largest private equity firms in the world. Some think Jamie did it, but even Chief Counsel Ellis states in the meeting that if it was him, he would have been the one gunned down, not Atwood. Ellis swiftly makes a phone call next and thinks it's time to bring in an outside firm because it's becoming clear Sarah Atwood was involved. Before he can finish the call, Detective Dillard comes in with the FBI to raid Sarah's office for evidence. Meanwhile, Jamie is lying on his couch still in devastation over the loss of his girlfriend. More of it is probably depression that his world is crashing down around him. It's already all over the news that Jamie, the Attorney General, was Sarah Atwood's latest contact, and they had partook in a sexual relationship. Evidence with them from the Deerfield Club has been discovered. If you recall, Beth put her investigative skills to work earlier in Season 5. She must have anonymously sent that evidence in. Even back then, she knew Jamie was up to something. We love an intelligent woman. Now, because Jamie was for the project development and John was dead set against it, it makes this a tricky situation for Jamie to worm his way out of. It's said he stood to benefit from a lease of land at the center of the development. It doesn't take long for him to figure out Beth is the mastermind behind this and calls Beth as soon as that light bulb goes off. Jamie thinks he has the upper hand because he knows all the family's secrets, but that couldn't be so far from the truth. He exclaims to Beth that she will destroy the entire family if she destroys him. If she goes down this road, she will end the legacy of the Dutton Ranch. Their name would be soiled. The ranch would be lost, and her freedom gone. Beth Dutton is quick to remind him that his name is no longer his, and soon the world will know it. There is a strong possibility if Beth takes Jamie down, Jamie will take the Dutton family name down right along with him. However, with only one more episode to go, it only leaves enough time for Jamie's demise, which at this point is inevitable. Jamie may know all of her, Rip's, and Casey's secrets, but not much can be done if he's not alive to tell the story. This is what Beth promises, and unlike Jamie, she vows to keep her promises. But first, the world will know what Jamie did. After Case counts the coup, he returns to Monica as promised. Monica wants to know what he did, and Case replies he showed the people who came after his father what will happen if they come after her or his family. And now they understand. So when Case and Monica walk away, they can do so in peace and safety without the dangers following them. Monica wants to know if that's what they are doing. It appears Case has some big plans he's not yet letting his wife in on. Jake, Ryan, Walker, and Teeter make it back from Texas. It's always a friendly welcome, but not a happy one. Teeter comes to a home without Colby, and it's bittersweet, to say the least. Ryan gets ready to have a talk with Teeter and to comfort her, but Walker of all people steps up to handle it for him. What a long way he has come. I think he sensed it would be too hard on him, and he had his grief to deal with. Teeter tells Lloyd they should have shot that horse dead a long time ago. Walker tells her there ain't no sense in hating the horse. That horse was simply doing what he was born to do. Some horses aren't meant to be tamed. Some horses aren't meant to be wild. He tells her it was over for Colby before he even knew it happened. I do have to say the blame lies more on the fault of Rip than Carter. It's a dangerous job, yes, but this kind of accident seems to follow Rip like a curse. Lloyd lets Teeter know he didn't let Beth mail everything and hands her Colby's hat. It was such a sweet and heartbreaking moment. As she puts it on, it's very symbolic of carrying Colby's love with her. But there's no time for grief, not yet. It's time to get to work while there is still some left.